Okay, E3 has now officially finally died, as opposed to whatever was happening last year. The final twitches, I guess, while the doctor was looking for his watch. Hey Jeff, I've got a joke for you. What does the wife of the undervalued, disrespected and laid-off game developer say to motivate her depressed husband while preparing the only present they could afford to get their child this Christmas? If you were worrying about finding time to play your huge backlog of games, then don't, because the entire games industry has 3 people left working in it, and 2 of them are Hideo Kojima.
Check out my range. Okay. Rage! Empathy. Oh, hilarity! This guy!
LEGO games used to just be funny. Now they have to be funny.
Aloy, an amazing video game lead.
I hope you've got a LEGO suspension bridge to support that claim. Was anyone even thinking about asking for this? And if they were, was it an involuntary, intrusive thought?
There you go. Wasn't that fun?
Twasn't. I'm no David Attenborough, but seeing these radioactive koalas go homicidal for mad dank kush is nothing short of remarkable. Supposedly they're Jaliens, but why would you name your entire species after another planet's punitive justice system? I just want to avoid anything potentially law-breaking. Anyway, it looks fun, even if Cuff Bust sounds like a Pornhub category.
Star Wars Outlaws coming out.
Oh, I see. You're adding quirky indie buffers either side of the Scarlet Rot, so it doesn't totally undermine your opening bit about celebrating smaller developers during this
difficult year.
It seems all the more sincere now as I'm watching the Monopoly mouse conglom up more ad space you could have given to a smaller studio who actually needs it. Why exactly are you marketing the private dance Ubisoft is already giving Disney in their own show?
Ubisoft's Forward event, streaming as part of the continuing Summer Game Fest events.
Wait, are you trying to call all of this week's events Summer Game Fest now? How many dicks have you sucked in the past year, Jeff? If that's not too Ubisoft forward a question.
Just a small taste of what's to come.
The man himself, the notorious SID, is here in the pre-recorded flesh, reminding us that he's still alive and that Civ 7 will probably release next year, provided there's still a civilization to base it on. This lucky monkey man manages to dislodge a magic toothpick from his ear seconds before it obliterates his skull. And if you've had your skull obliterated, perhaps you'll be interested in the £132 deluxe edition or £312 collector's edition. Shit-flingingly high prices that are conspicuously absent from mention anywhere in this trailer. Also worth noting amongst this veritable geek crate of literal bells and whistles, a physical disc of the game is somehow not part of it. Any intrigue a trailer might cultivate is so often wasted by these garish pre-order vomits. Imagine you finish watching a really great film, and then instead of the credits it's just footage from the director's back alley colonoscopy. You can just leave at that point, but it's still a shitty aftertaste. I'm now going to list as many things as I can within the same length of time as their lingering edition slideshow that you could buy instead for £312. A beehive, a buzzsaw, a 3D printer, luxury dog sofas, 7 empty gas canisters, ominous woodpecker, a stair lift, stethoscope, caravan, Kinnear, a man cave games machine, shopping slave, or a bug-eyed psycho lion. But never mind all that, here's the best VR game ever made, with its groundbreaking mechanics of fishing and being a dick to retail workers. Meanwhile, Samsung desperately wants you in their gaming hub, and now that I have a Samsung phone, I can confirm that you cannot delete the fucking thing. This man is very grey.
The Rat King will stop at nothing.
Yeah, the word Arkham is tainted now, much like Multiverse or Debussy. And even if this is good, it's exclusively VR, so it might as well be Arkham Embroidery for all I'm ever going to touch it.
I am looking forward to heading back to the Arkhamverse.
Wow, you managed to add the word actually, using just your tone of voice. Alpha Unit Eagle Mission. Bravo Company Raven Breach. Echo Team Falcon Deployment. Tango Gang Budgie Busters. Sorry, I'll get it eventually. Delta Force Hawk Ops. There we go. If graphics and gameplay are subject to change, that leaves what exactly that's confirmed by this trailer? Oh, fuck off. I'm not so old that you have to put footage of arcade cabinets in black and white. Ugh. Also, $5,000 of Samsung credit sounds like the first ever currency to be worth less than Monopoly money. Jason Bluminghouse is here and he's threatening to
take our approach to movies and apply it to games.
which basically means blindly shooting cheap indie developers at a wall and seeing what sticks. That said, considering how the industry is currently doing things, this might be worth a shotgun full of shit shot. Now I know how all the 80s kids felt when their nostalgia was being mined into dust. Dust they'll then sell you and call it snorting the good old days. For any younger people watching,
Fortify your mind!
because sooner or later, once they've milked all our sacred cows to death...
It'll happen to you!
I did like Power Rangers back in the day. The fuck, it's starting already! Speaking of emotional manipulation, let's do a Bambi, but also he fights Ganon at the end. It's like if instead of a very shiny nose, Rudolph channeled the immortal spirits of his forefathers. Why are you in the crowd? Did you get lost? Am I being panto-baited because it is behind you? Or is the studio that made Among Us so actually sus that no one even wants to share a stage with them? This trailer is suspect as well. It has no voice acting, yet ends with a big page of renowned actors. Are they doing the motion capture?
The year of shadow, right?
Yeah, Jeff, it's been pretty bleak for a lot of people. Some of them can't really see a light at the... Oh, you meant the hedgehog. What if Dune was actually simple and way easier to adapt? We dared to ask to write that fanfiction. This is why gameplay footage is important, because despite these both being the same game, you're not playing this. You're playing this.
And what makes Unitex very cool is not only will players be able to define the exact...
Sam Lake is back, full of victory tequila and thrilled with his newfound popularity. He still sounds a bit scared of something though.
Alan Wake 2, right?
Maybe it's not breaking even, to which end they're finally releasing a physical version. Better late than never. Hang on a minute. It's only for deluxe and collector's editions. So you can't have a physical release unless you shell out 65 or 157 bollock-twisting pounds. Well, good luck with that, Sam. I'll be over here paying my rent.
Why do people choose to sleep?
Because otherwise they die?
It's because they're afraid to wake up from the dream.
That doesn't make any sense, you sentient floating marble. I don't know if Skeleton's bleeding is dark so much as biologically confusing.
Lots of fans are joining us here in person at the YouTube Theater, and we thank you for that. And ahead of the show, 4 lucky fans were upgraded to our VIP section thanks to the Discover Orange Ticket upgrade. With Discover, you don't have to be a VIP to be treated like one.
What exactly is VIP about these lucky seats? Those are just fold-out chairs. I've got a VIP seat in my garage. The nailed-down ones behind might actually be comfier. Is it just that you don't have a row of people in front of you? But every row after that, you do. That would just make me feel exposed and self-conscious. I don't think you've thought about this Keely Wonka's orange ticket system at all. The first wincing comedy skit has arrived, and if you guess this trailer is for the reboot of Skate, then I don't believe you. It must be some kind of crime against irony for EA to be doing a soulless corporate satire bit. It's like Bobby Kotick releasing a communist manifesto or David Cage appearing at a pride march. Also, the game's supposedly in pre-alpha, which I can only assume means they haven't even bought the computers yet. Palworld finds itself in the weird position of having peaked before it even technically came out. A strategy Warner Brothers are incredibly interested in adopting. More oil rigs! We are so back to relying on fossil fuels. It's unclear if Arnar Gilferson gets more jokes about disappointed Australians or shagging grandmothers. But regardless, I salute your relatable cavernous eye bags.
Our next announcement is a big deal from our friends at DoorDash.
You need to end this abusive relationship, Jeff. All she ever does is humiliate you, especially when you accidentally call her Dash Pash.
Sign up for Dash Pash now.
Oh, and we're just letting movie trailers in now, are we? Don't give me that flannel that because he's cast as a video game character, it's acceptable. You're still gobbling up Disney's green leaves like a fat money slug, and I'm, I guess, the salt in this metaphor. Buy a Samsung, you fucks! We told you earlier and you still haven't done it.
Summer Game Fest 2024!
Bloody hell, I hope you got paid a lot of money. Oh, it's the Clash of Clans, guys, so you absolutely did. 2.5 minutes of this drawn-out comedy bit with all these famous actors, and then 2.5 seconds with the actual game's name on screen. That's either the most expensive advertising mistake all year or a horrifying sign of how much money mobile games can just spaff up the wall and still make it all back. People don't even need to know the name, they'll just type Hemsworth's chicken game and... oh god, that actually worked. You make a wish to be hung like a horse and this is what you get.
I'm honored to share with you the brand new trailer for the game featuring all real gameplay.
Real gameplay implies the existence of fake gameplay, and if that ain't 90% of the fucking problem with these shows. So overall, a complete tonal clusterfuck. Jeff desperately trying to walk the tightrope of, please forget about this, we love the worker drones, honest, but also, gimme all that Disney and Samsung and DoorDash sponsorship money. Do you know how expensive our VIP chairs are? Honestly, I don't know how a big show like Jeff Fest walks that line of sincerity while keeping the lights on. You addressed the uranium barrel fire with a skunk in it that is the current games industry, and you gave it more than the virtue signalling half-assed one sentence that other shows absent-mindedly spat out. But at the same time, you had more damage control to do. I still can't work out if Jeff is constantly wrestling the corporate crocodiles behind the scenes, or he's just moderately skilled at PR recovery to try and appear like that. Good choice to drop the swanky suits this year though. Casual corduroy Jeff is far more relatable. If the industry carries on like it is, I expect next year he'll come out in dungarees and a flat cap.